All right. How's it going, Matt? Nicholas here, wanting to make you a video. Happy to do another video, and happy to do extra pictures. Kind of overcast with an okay amount of daylight. And I know it's kind of I'm just now kind of seeing the yeah, let me pop on some other lights here. Yeah, overall these are in great shape, and seams are tight, and there doesn't appear to be any cracking of the wrap. Definitely know all about that. And yeah, for what it's worth, I'm a vintage drum nerd, and I've been at it quite a while. So I'm very happy to talk about specifics. I even have, some other drums I'm working on selling. Kind of an amazing assortment, including the Rogers. And then I have a bunch of drums I'm keeping in, over here on this side in bags. And then even for what it's worth, got some more of my stuff here. So yeah, I'm always doing my best to fiddle with stuff and practice and play and all that. I got the stereo going. But yeah, I just figured I'd say hello. How's it going? Thanks for your time. And yeah, that's a little bit better. It was a little bit dark on this side as far as just the lighting with the daylight and then the apartment lighting. I'll do my best to not go on, and I gave myself a little bit more room on this side so I could just capture some of the daylight coming through. And I guess we'll just start with the 12. In general, obviously it does need, they all need to be cleaned as far as, if you're in the know, which you very likely are, if you get your different bottles of Novus, the plastic polish, obviously take everything off. I've not taken off the lugs. I'm happy to do so. I have nerdy vintage drum shop experience, so I'm happy to do that, to take a look underneath the lugs. It might take me a minute to do so. I'm actually borrowing space here and house sitting and in between apartments and stuff. It's a long, complicated story, so you may have to just give me some, patient time here. But in general, I guess just to quickly say, I would imagine, based on the general experiences I've had, that yes, some of the just, tape residue, all of that should clean up nice. I'm, again, happy that they're not cracked and split. And then, I have some, cotton and fleece on the plastic table here. And then, I've got the other side of the drum, on a drum head here. So just bear with me. So the bottom edge all of the drums have not had bottom heads for probably some time. Fortunately, they're not in that bad of shape. I mean, it could be a lot worse, but just to kind of give you an idea, so you got a little bit of a ding there. Probably would not affect tuning too badly because just in general, considering that the heads have been off for a while, it could be a lot worse. So, you know, not forget to keep talking about the wrap. Doing my best just to kind of give you a good overview here. And I'm much like yourself and probably all of us, whether we've had time in vintage shops or not. Certainly, all of the playing, nerding out, buying, trading, selling over the years, and then again, having just an awareness of all the parts and pieces of just what any of these drums are supposed to have and things like that. I'm very particular about always just kind of even to the point where yes, it's important to know when tension rods and washers and rims aren't original, things like that. So I'm very in tune with being aware of all of that. And I'll just quickly mention that yes, you're certainly looking at the notion that the bottom rims for the 12, 13, and 16, yes, bottom rims, tension rods, and washers. And then, obviously, again, we can kind of keep talking about everything else. Yes, more glue, tape residue. And just since we're kind of in this area, obviously it is the kind of a new reality that I think there's a lot more newer Rogers parts being produced, which is great. And for the traditionalists that are looking for original parts, we know how that goes. I'm a Gretsch fanatic, so I understand a la carte what it's like to find replacement parts and how expensive it gets and things like that. So, and just having worked in the drum shop, the couple different drum shops I've worked in, certainly aware of just Rogers parts and what to look out for. So like, yeah, I'm imagining folks would probably want to replace this. I'm forgetting exactly what this piece is called. Kind of amazing to see some good old-timey grease. Certainly got some pitting and some rust on that collet nose. And then this collet wing screw. Anything I'm saying incorrectly, just bear with me. I'm a school band kid that got into gear pretty early and then kept doing school band and then music school and all of that. And I've just been so interested in vintage drums since grade school that, anyway, always happy to talk specifics and details. I'm imagining if you were to walnut media tumble these parts, you'd be in good shape. We used to do that a lot at one of the shops. Obviously, Mother's, Mag Polish, and Never Dull. I'm not a real big advocate of, abrasive things and steel wool and all that. I mean, just in general, though, all the lugs seem pretty good. And, from the point of view, I want to say I've just kind of generally, just to see if anything is seized and whatnot. I've not taken a drum key to the tension rods uh, that are still there on, on the one side, on the batter side. But yeah, again, bear with me. It might be a little bit of a long video. But just in general, for a drum that hasn't had half of its parts, it's not as if I would be like, oh my God, it's so chewed up, it's never going to tune up or whatever. Really, I think the worst area here on this 12 is basically this right here, which isn't too bad. This is why I wanted to make a video. It's just easier in daylight and in the context. I mean, I think we've all certainly seen worse, especially when drums have had no heads and rims on the bottom, since the 70s. Pardon the recycling there. And just give me a quick moment. Okay. Again, thanks for your patience. Looks like these top batter side tension rods look to be all matching. And from the shape of those, they all seem to be original Rogers tension rods, which is good. All right, and just bear with me here. Okay, popping off this. Oh, and popping off this rim and head for me for the first time. So I'll have you join me here. Noticing a little ding in the rim here. So that's to be noted. I'm imagining, even with that little ding, for example, you can see the good old dust a-fallen. That's kind of the general condition. Not too bad. Whether it's Never-Dull and Mother's Mag Polish or a buffing wheel, however you want to do it. Sometimes some water and Blue Dawn, or I kind of prefer spring water and plant-based dish soap. But yeah, this rim isn't in too bad of shape, and from the look of it, does seem to be Rogers by the eyelets, and I'm just kind of taking a look at the other ones. We'll take a look. I don't think these have been taken off, especially with all the matching tension rods. So seems to be that the top rim and top tension rods on this 12 are Rogers. So just bear with me. And yeah, the top edge is in pretty great condition. Doesn't seem to be any dings. It's pretty smooth, which is great. And I'll kind of give you a look-see here as well. Even if this is a 30-minute video, it's okay. I'm sure it'll be helpful for you, me, anyone else. Let me do a quick check here. All the tension rods came, unscrewed out of the lugs just fine. I always like to check the springs. And I know there's a little bit of an anomaly thing with the speckled gray and then these paper tags. I forget what my friend said. I can send you the info. I have a couple friends that are Rogers nuts. So they thought it was pretty cool that the tags are like this, but with this interior. And for example, before I forget, muffler's in good shape. Super clean too, which is awesome. And then, all of the Interior looking pretty good. All the backing screws and all of that. And then again, the collet, we just looked at that. Certainly needs either a once-over or if you want to replace it. And then again, I do realize that these often crack, and I'm imagining that this bit of wear and all of that is, what Rogers folks, are used to seeing and whatnot. I can do my best to get a better analysis. I'm imagining that's a... Yeah, I'm imagining that's a crack. Again, we're all pretty aware that the collet noses do that. Would it be functional? I'm imagining, but I'm glad that it's a lot easier to get replacement parts. All the lugs are in good shape. Give me a second here. Just carefully put this on its side. They all need to be cleaned, but I don't think anything that Mothers and Neverdal... if you do walnut media tumbler, you have to really only do a few lugs at a time. So you may want to get 2 or 3 walnut media tumblers going. That way you don't put a lot of parts in at the same time, because then they'll bump against each other in between the walnut media and get scratched. You know what I mean? So you wouldn't want to do all 12 lugs. You'd want to do like 3 or 4, You could even put a scoop of the Mother's Mag Polish in the walnut media tumbler. And then let me also just do a quick... So again, I'm not seeing any cracking of the wrap, which is great. I do like this wrap. It's pretty sweet. So I guess that is great news. I would imagine that this will clean up fine. Here's a little bit of some rash. I can't tell if that... Seems like there's a little bit of, ding gouge in the wrap. Not bad, but there we go. So that's of note. General amounts of, typical... Sorry, we got the glare, the window there. I'm sure that would come out. General amount of fine scratches and whatnot. Make sure I balance this safely. Give me 1 second. Okay. Whoops. Okay, there we go. I just wanted to check the seam. And, the seam is tight, so that's good. And like I said, I won't do it now because, I know it's going to be a, fucking 35, 45, 50-minute video just so I can go through all of this with you. And I'm super happy to do so. There's a little bit better of the condition. When I worked at the drum shop, I've cleaned, so many of these, it just makes me laugh. This is my first Rogers set. I'd like to keep it, but I have a lot of stuff. And I'm in between apartments and blah, 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 blah. And I'm such a Gretsch fanatic. And we'll see. You know what I mean? We'll see. This may, be in my possession for a little bit of time, and I may get lucky and find parts, but I'm probably right now more happy to, find a fair market value price and just get it to another Rogers fanatic, Okay, so that's the 12. And again, the top edge, I doubt you'd be disappointed. Wanted to try and give you a better look-see. Cool. I'm glad that the there isn't cracking that's visible, and that the seams are tight, and that there isn't major rash. And overall, there's kind of really just one kind of minimal ding on the resonant side. Otherwise, doubt you'd be too disappointed. And then, give me one moment. Okay, I took a quick second here and I popped off the lug near the seam on the 12. The condition of the lug itself is in great condition, so it, there really doesn't seem to be that bad of pitting on these lugs. I would imagine that they all would clean up quite nice because there's no chrome loss, and again, the pitting's not too bad, just for what it's worth. I always liked the Rogers springs. They're extremely strong, like Gretsch. Insides of the threads are great. And I'm always aware of how to be very slow and strong and careful undoing backing screws off of lugs. These came out real nice and easy, and I'm imagining these are probably the first time that these have come off. And then again, as I'm looking at, I think it's just some fuzz. Yeah, this is just some fuzz. Yeah. Point being, as I'm kind of taking a look at this top edge, again, this is the top batter edge. It's quite beautiful. Very likely that the drum heads on this top of this 12 really were never off of the drum. The top edge is quite nice for what it's worth. I just wanted to give a quick show and tell of the seam with the lug off and not cracked here, and then I'm not seeing any cracking on any of the others. So I think we're in good shape. And if somebody really wants me to, it'll just take me, just a little bit of time. Usually have to, again, set up a table with some, soft something and good daylight. But yeah, that's a good, happy find so far. All right, give me one moment. Okay. I did check this hoop does sit flat, seams in round, tiny bit of wobble when it's on the top rim side. Not too bad though. And who knows how exactly flat this floor is, but overall though, not too bad. You could even use this as the bottom resonant rim if you wanted to, but some folks definitely want to know like how bad the rims are, so I'm always wanting to quickly double check that. I'm going to go ahead and upload this. I'll just do 4 separate videos, that way this whole thing isn't 2 hours long. I want to catch the rest of this kind of daylight since things are looking good, and I'll just get these going. But yeah, I think overall, and then, here's another kind of good spot of just like, stickiness from tape residue. I would imagine this would clean up quite nice. And then, whether, I'm sure somebody wants to use the collet noses and whatnot. I forget exactly what the cutoff point is when these become a little worn and all of that. And I'll take a better look, when I'm not holding the camera and looking at the camera and looking at the drum and all of that. Yeah, give me one moment here.